welcome back to another episode of If You Build It with my man Net. What is good, my boys?
Good. How y'all doing today?
Coolin', man. Coolin'. Tell us about your business, man.
Well, as you said, I'm Net, also known as Papa Bear Kush, the owner, creator, and operator of Bearables. You know, we're a brand that makes artisan treats, desserts, and just things that are just delectable that'll put you in a good mood. Something that we've been doing for about a year now. I've had this operating. It's a nice just backstory and tale of how it got into that. It started off just in college, actually.
What year was this?
This was back in 2012. You know, it was interesting. I got an assignment and I was told can't write about anything in terms of marijuana, cannabis, or anything of that nature. Unless it's something that the teacher has never heard before.
Okay.
So with that, I decided, I'm gonna write a paper about cannabis in America and how at one point it was one of the largest cash crops in America.
Do you remember what year that was?
With the paper, that was 2012, but then with the date of the largest cash crops, this is back in George Washington time period. Early America, where again, that was one of the biggest crops grown along with tobacco and before the lumber industry really took over.
Before the war on drugs.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
So hemp was legally sold in the U.S.
Beyond being legally sold, it was used by just about every industry within the U.S. From the Constitution is on hemp. Clothes were on hemp. Rations were made out of hemp. Paper, textiles, they even had hempcrete. You had houses and buildings built out of hemp. It's just everywhere.
So the crop was strong.
Absolutely, but you know, it didn't go bad too fast, so it would last too long, and that's not good for profits all the time, in my opinion. But,
did it come down to empowering a certain community? Was that a problem?
I mean,
when it came to the cash crop of hemp?
Well, it actually came down to breaking down different communities. One of the propaganda just movements that they had with cannabis is even how it got the name marijuana. So there's a plant from Mexico, marijuana.
Yeah.
Looks very similar to weed, smells very similar to weed, but it is not weed.
Yeah.
It is not cannabis. It is not any of the sort. It doesn't fall into any of those lanes. But since it's something that was recognizable to tie to a different group of a particular group of people, you know, those ethnic people of color that were coming from the South, coming from Mexico, coming from outside of the country. That was an easy thing to attach to them and label them as evil, bad. You know, if you smoke this, you're going to turn into a crazy individual and just go mad. Once that propaganda I guess switched and people started to realize that it's not all as bad as you say. I say bringing it back to the modern times, that's where you start to see all the rules and regulations changing. That now you have things like the I-71 compliance with what was that, 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, 2014. That's where I-71 compliance was passed in DC, and now basically cannabis is decriminalized, not quite legal fully just yet, but it does give you the opportunity to use it for different ailments and to use it to recreationally to an extent. It's just not as enforced or oppressed in this area. So
what's the difference between being decriminalized and being legal?
For legality, you'll think of places like California, where you can go, you can buy it from any store. You don't need a special license, ID card. As long as you're of age, over the age of 21, you can go into a place, buy your cannabis, marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it, and you can smoke it in the privacy pretty much anywhere you can smoke cigarettes, essentially. Decriminalized says that as long as it falls within the rules of the compliance, so as long as you're on your private property, as long as you're not in the street, you're not driving, you're not causing a disturbance to the public, you can go ahead and smoke your cannabis and nobody will have a problem with it. But then it's still illegal to distribute or to say that, hey, I sell I'm a pusher or I'm a dealer. That's illegal here. It's still a criminal act. You still can see some hefty repercussions to doing that. So I wouldn't advise, don't be a weed salesman in the District of Columbia, because that's still illegal.
Okay, so what about these stores that are legally selling weed? Well, not weed, let's say hemp or marijuana.
See, well, there's a difference there. So once you start talking about hemp, you're starting to speak about different cannabinoids.
What's a cannabinoid?
Cannabinoid are the different chemicals that make up weed. So some of the cannabinoids are things that give you that feeling and give you that high. Some of which are more so just for flavor profiles. Some of which have some medical benefits that have been studied and researched by universities like UCLA, Harvard, many different just schools around the world. Actually have looked into that research around that health and medical benefits, and all of this is coming from the different cannabinoids that are within the plant. Think of it in a layman's term, the chemical makeup of weed.
Okay. Have when it comes to these universities, were they doing research on the benefits of weed before it became legal?
Research.
Or it was becoming legalized?
Well, official research, that's actually been one of the biggest problems in the industry since, again, the war on drugs, where basically there wasn't any research. Like, one of the biggest propagandas for the making weed illegal, there was a scientist who basically would pump gas masks, will put gas masks on different animals like monkeys and things, pump weed into their system, and then when the monkeys died, they would blame it on cannabis.
Yeah. So they created a narrative.
Basically.
Yeah.
This will kill you. It killed the monkeys. But people didn't realize, well, if you don't have oxygen, you don't have air, you're gonna die. So if you have a gas mask pumping something other than air, that's breathable, you're probably not gonna make that one. It's just okay.
So what you're saying is, when it comes to the criminalization of weed, there was a narrative that was wrote, and to this day it's stuck.
Well, that's to this day. Today, that's where we're starting to see those changes. You're starting to see universities now put more money and intellect into really understanding what is going on with this product. What is this actually doing? Even so much so, research has led to the schedule changing of what cannabis is. So I think it was a Schedule 1, and now that's changed. That
when you say scheduling, what does this mean? What does that refer to?
All drugs or things that are considered drugs, illegal activity. You know, think about heroin, methamphetamines, oxycodone, all the bad things. They have what are called schedules, or basically rankings on how bad are they. A Schedule 1 drug is something that is considered the worst of the worst. You shouldn't take this. It is harmful to not only you, but your community and anything and anybody that's around you. Weed was on that. Cannabis was on that. Hemp was on that. Same product that was utilized for many different reasons is now considered a Schedule 1 drug. That's terrible. But with research, they saw that it was beneficial to allow different patients with different ailments, from high levels of anxiety, eating disorders, to even different mental disorders, that people aren't fully able to utilize different resources like standard treatments, pills, and things of that nature. Well, weed is that alternative, cannabis is that alternative, and then hemp is a whole other lane where you can make many different things. Even that, the cannabinoids in that is speaking on the differences between CBD and THC. That's something that makes the big difference on whether it's you're legally able to distribute the product, or is it illegal in areas that is only decriminalized and not recreationally legal.
How many states in the U.S. are currently, is weed currently legal?
don't quote me on this figure exactly.
You can say them. Make it easy for us.
But for what I know, Ohio, California, Denver, Maryland is still trying to get passed. Virginia.
Yeah. Decriminalize Virginia.
Virginia is decriminalized. Yes, decriminalized.
It's not legal. It's decriminalized.
It's definitely decriminalized. Do not play in Virginia.
Also, right?
Maryland is a little bit different. It's decriminalized to an extent. So if you have less than 10 grams, you're good to go. Okay. They'll give you a citation, slap on the wrist.
At most, but no jail.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
More than 10 grams, and you now have a potential felony on your hands.
Okay.
And not to go too much into it, but I've definitely learned that marijuana and THC are two different things.
All right, tell me more.
You can't be charged with distribution of THC and distribution of marijuana as two separate charges in Maryland. For THC, that's more so thinking about concentrates and things that are within other products, and marijuana is the flower, what people see you smoke.
Okay. So, you have a company. Tell us about that company.
Alright, well, Bearables, I'm a artisan chef and dessert maker. I'm one that gives an experience and not just something to eat. With that experience, it comes different infusions. One of which is that hemp infusion, and getting into the CBD realm of things. It's something that it started off as a recreational passion that I started just making things and cooking every day, and I figured, hey, I have different ailments, family members have different ailments that, again, research has shown it's beneficial if you utilize these things and products. And shoot, I was like, why not try it out? I'm not a fan of pills and certain medicines, but if I can get the same results from, just a plant, and shoot, I was all for it. So with that, I took that passion and turned it into a business where I'm putting two things that I do love into one. Cooking, of course. Yeah. And cannabis.
Okay. Tell me about the importance of an experience.
The importance of an experience, honestly, especially in this industry, is what's going to set you apart. Everybody or anybody can make an edible or make a treat or make a dessert, make a cake, make cookies. You don't need anything special for that.
Yeah.
You give an experience now. This is something that people you buy into, you want. Just think about things that have given you an experience, from going to the carnival. When you think of a carnival, people think about the foods that they smell, different treats, the stuff that brings that memory. That's an experience. Now that's giving you something that you want to have. Even if you just want, what is that? I want to see what that is.
Yeah.
Let me know. That's the experience that I try to give with everything that I do. Whether it's making something on the spot or showing somebody something that they've probably never seen before. So they're just like, oh yeah, what is that? Oh yeah, let me educate you on it and show you what it can do and let you make the choice whether this will be something that's good for you.
So you've come across many people in this walk of life.
Many different people. Many different people. I could say how many, from people who are fully against it, people who are for it, people who don't understand it. I have even family members who they were extremely against this to now they're open to tell me more. How can this help them? How can this make their life better?
When you say help them, let's touch on that a little bit more.
I actually give myself as an example with that. So, of course, I'm not a medical practitioner or anything like that. But one of the things that helped me out, one of my family members, one of my parents actually has glaucoma.
Okay.
It's something that is a hereditary problem that is, passed down to the kids. Now, I have all the symptoms and signs of having glaucoma. It's something I have to get tested for, and they check my eyes every year. basically I have a big opening in my eye that it should basically be hollow or dead, but it's not. It's got a really big hole there, but I can see through it. You can't tell me one of the things that has been helping me is cannabis, because again, I had the same problem as my parent. Found it, recognized it, but I had full vision, whereas my parent not so much. So it's something that again, I see that even from that it's been helpful, even learning that even smoking is not necessarily the best way. So of course any combustion reaction is going to be harmful to your lungs, so that's understandable.
So what would be the better way of ingesting marijuana?
Glad you asked that. Different products. So we do have different concentrates from this is actually a tincture, non-alcohol based tincture, where you're getting that extraction from the cannabis, and you get those cannabinoids to melt down. Again, big difference is that THC and CBD. CBD you can legally sell within the area, no problem. Whereas THC, that's illegal to distribute unless you're coming from that dispensary or those areas.
What's CBD?
CBD is where think of that as the medical, or one of the more medically oriented cannabinoids within cannabis. CBD is what you'll see, like if you go to any corner store, gas station around these areas, they do have that. Of course, there's other cannabinoids. You got Delta 8. Of course, THC. That's the one that gives you the psychedelic, high feeling. But CBD is one of the ones that's more so for those chronic ailments. And that's giving you that more natural just method of healing and getting things right with your body. CBD is, again,
it's a treatment.
Yeah, it's the beneficial part of this whole process and the whole cannabis thing. A lot of people swear by it. I know I've noticed from the help with pain relief. People who are undergoing a lot of stress, anxiety, overthinking. It kind of helps with all of those things, but of course everything that's good has a downside. Some of the problems, it can make you sluggish. It does have an odor to it that does follow you, but then again, that's where you have different methods that you wouldn't have to worry about that.
So when it comes to marijuana, moderation is key.
Yes. Even in a professional world, professional life, it's something that you have to have a control on how much you're not only ingesting, when you're ingesting, the method that you're ingesting it. You have to put thought into all of these different things, because if you don't, you could find yourself in a very tough situation. Just think, would you want somebody who is not able to focus thoroughly on what their assignment to really be working your job, or if you're doing something that's potentially hazardous or that can bring harm to somebody, you wouldn't want them under the influence of anything. So you do have to recognize what's going on in your life, in your world, before you just go smoking and blowing down and getting high, and then now, oh dang, you can't do something that was vital, you can't do something that was important.
Discretion is key.
Yes. And even that, with the laws and the decriminalization of it, privacy. So that's the big key with smoking. That's one of the biggest problems that I had to deal with. The smell of it and keeping it private. Just because you smoke doesn't mean everybody else has to partake in your ventures. And honestly, a funny story, that's something that I had to learn the hard way. I did a venture with one of my friends, the founder, operator of Sice Game, and he's an individual who doesn't dive into that realm, and he's not a part of this world. And once he saw people responding to it in a way that wasn't quite what he set out for his event, that's something that he actually schooled and educated me on.
So you guys had to sit down and you had to realize that, hey, as someone who deals in this space and also as an advocate for marijuana in the community, whatever I deliver is a representation of what my company is about.
Exactly.
And that adds on to the experience portion.
And it's not even just what you deliver it, how you deliver it, when you deliver it.
Yeah.
Like everything is not for every moment.
So does this go back to like kind of giving people awareness of, hey, if you take this is how strong this product might be, so be aware of it?
Absolutely. Education around it. Know what you're doing. Don't just jump into it head first. Don't just take over.
Yeah.
Think, oh yeah, I've done this before. This is going to be nothing. Nah, actually know what you're doing. Know why you're doing it. If you're just ingesting things to feel high, all right, accept that for yourself. Just know you should not be high all the time.
And also understanding that your body ingesting something is different from inhaling it and how that affects your body and your person.
Exactly. It's going to break down in your system differently depending on who you are. Like right now, while I'm smoking, I am drinking some of my sweet tink. That's some product that it's made to blend into a drink so that you don't have to worry about the smell. You don't have to worry about the stigma around, oh, they're smoking. Now I can be more discreet and private with a cup versus having a lit J in my hand. Now, with that same method of, okay, I know my limits. I know what I'm doing. I have more experience with utilizing these products. I know when I can have these things and when I should, relax, chill out, don't have these things.
Yeah.
Spreading that knowledge is one of the big things that I love and I'm focused on right now. Just, all right, if you're going to do this, if this is something that you're going to be a part of, be smart about it. There are a lot of individuals and a lot of people out here that will give you things that are just bad for it. Of course, many people know about the fentanyl or wave and craze that people are lacing things.
That is killing our community.
It is beyond killing our community. It's tragic that people are succumbing to these things, but that's something that's where you have to think about, like, okay, as somebody trying to put something else in to give me a better high or a higher high, I want to make sure that people have that opportunity to, again, have that experience in a safe space.
Yeah, and also what's the trade-off for the products that you're using? So what would be your advice for someone who suffers from chronic pain and they would like to partake in the benefits of marijuana?
Well, before you take the benefits of marijuana, learn what's going to be beneficial and harmful to you per se. So if you want to partake in the benefits of marijuana and you see, okay, well, smoking may be too harmful for my lungs to partake in that, but you want to take in the benefits, okay? Learn about what are the other methods that you can take that or ingest that cannabis.
Yeah.
There's eating, there's concentrates from distillates, isolates,
What's
wax.
a concentrate?
Concentrate is where you separate the different essential oils, so the cannabinoids from the plant, and slowly just have that either group of chemicals, so it could be full spectrum where it has a little bit of everything, or it can be an isolate where it has just one. So a CBD isolate, for example, it's just CBD. THC isolate, it's just THC.
Yeah.
It's no longer in the natural plant form at that point, though. So there's that trade-off.
Okay. When it comes to your research that you've done within the last couple of years of culinary, applying it to the food and the experience, what have you come across when it comes to the business?
The biggest thing I've come across, people do not care about how you're taking these products. They do not care how it's mixed in. They do not care the flavor, as long as it's getting you to the point that they're advertising.
Yeah.
And
So
you're paying for it.
Makers.
Yeah. Other makers, and just
they're not measuring it like they're supposed to.
beyond measuring, they're not using proper techniques. Like one of the popular techniques to infusing in this area, I would say, instead of actually making a product from ground up and actually knowing the science behind it, they'll take a already made product, say candy, and then they'll spray a concentrate on that candy and then resell it.
Yeah.
That's great. Anybody can do that. You don't need any special person to spray something on your candy and then enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's not hard. I'm taking it that step further and actually learning what are the different ways that this one product, cannabis, interacts with different products. How do I get it into a beverage? How do I get it into ice cream? How do I get it into something that's just not even thought of? Savory things. Why does it always have to be a sweet treat? What if I wanted to have this as a part of my dinner, since it's something that I have in my routine and regimen for the different elements or for what I choose to do in my life? Why should I be limited to just mixing or putting it on top? Sometimes I don't want to taste it, or sometimes I don't want to recognize that that's what I'm having. And that's some people's thing. Some people may not be able to deal with those different things. So now you have a way to not only learn and see what's going on, because again, with that experience, you're probably seeing me either make a product or put together a product that now you're seeing what goes into it. You have a better understanding of how does it work. You don't have to just guess it. You can see for yourself, know for yourself. And also that adds to back to the culinary aspect. That's putting that love, care, and just goodness into what you make. So you can definitely tell a difference from just having a edible that's just a plain old brownie that somebody took a box mix, threw weed in there and said, here you go. Or versus somebody who actually broke down the different aspects of that plant and infused it into a dessert or infused it into a meal. And not only is it still good, but it's not overpowering or conflicting flavors. That's a skill. That's an art.
Yeah. How do you go about these practices? Not the technique itself, but building the rooms for people to know that, like, hey, we're testing this out for the customer safety.
Well, first, again, research. R&D is really the biggest part of this business.
What's R&D?
That research and development. You don't just have something and release it out there. Know what you're doing. Know what you have. For some of my products, I do send it out to a lab to have them tested to see, again, what is in it. Knowing the base products that you're putting in it. You don't want to use something that is a mix or an array of different things when you're trying to make something that, say, is only one thing. For example, I use a vanilla bean. Instead of just getting vanilla extract that can be many different chemicals, I just put actual vanilla bean in it.
Yeah.
It's just vanilla bean. Knowing, again, how to even make things bind together, what sticks together. Just like many things, again, cannabis doesn't go with everything. It's not going to bond with everything. It's not going to blend with everything. But I want to be able to put it in anything.
Yeah, safely.
Safely, of course. Measuring and even knowing that is an equation at that point. And it's still, you have to know what you start with before you can even figure out what your end product is going to be. Knowing different temperatures, knowing different things that affect the plant, knowing different things that are going to affect your end product, knowing when you're doing something that may change the properties. As again, it takes a lot of research and development, some of which is trial and error. So any product that I know I do make beyond myself testing it, it is going through that testing pool where we're having those individuals try. And then the big thing, if you still are even worried about, okay, how much it should take, that's what that experience is also giving you, that opportunity to not only see how it's being made, but here's that sample. If you have that knowledge, understanding of what's being ingested, if you have that comfortability around it, now you can try that sample and see what the hell is going on here. Give you the best insight and knowledge that I have and that research behind it. But I, of course, challenge anybody to look up anything that I'm speaking of. Don't just take my word for it.
Always do your own research.
Exactly. And I promise you it'll pay off every time.
Can you give us good examples of resources folks can look up themselves on the internet if they wanted to educate themselves?
If you wanted to educate, well, I would say, which facet would you want to go through? So, if you want to look up some of those studies from universities, just go on Google Scholars, not just regular Google Scholars. You can search UCLA study on cannabis or research on cannabis. You can study or look up Harvard's research on cannabis and see what some of these universities and things are saying. See some of the editorials and papers that are posted out there about the subject. Look up the history of it. You can start, all honesty, binge YouTube. It sounds wild, but it's many things that you can learn on YouTube. But learning the history of a product at a high level summary, that's where you can start. Then you can then dive into different sites. Like Leafly is a site that it gives you a lot of background and information about different strains and different products specifically. To again, the biggest research that I got is I actually talk to those individuals who are in the business already, pass that knowledge and resource on. Different books you can read, different just guides and papers, editorials, forums. Learn what is going on with these products. The resources are now becoming so openly available. You have different magazines, from Time magazine to High Times. That's one of the oldest weed related or cannabis related magazine editorials that are out, and they actually do give you those that background and research on what is cannabis, what is it doing. It's not just the entertainment of you can get some background on it. Beyond schools and universities, talk to local dispensaries. Talk to those people who are actually in that realm. Normal, NORML, that's another group that pushed that initiative around that compliance and passing the bill to make it decriminalized in DC. They still give a lot of information on how can you dive in this realm, how can you work in this realm, what's going on in this world. They have even legal advice on that site too, so if you ever get into trouble with dealing with these things, that's where you can reach out to. But it's definitely again, just search. You gotta kind of binge that knowledge, look up things. Just don't just listen to the propaganda from different media like newspapers and news outlets. They'll say, oh yeah, this is bad. Well, why is it bad? Ask those questions and I promise you'll come to a better understanding.
Alright, so you finally executed Variables. What's the vision for the concept?
Well, honestly, the vision for the concept was how can I give people an aspect of me that I'm willing to give for free. The concept really goes down to that comfort, coziness, that relaxation. You don't have to have that worry, you don't have to be stressed. And that's something, feeling the emotion that has been explained to me that I get from just giving stuff like a bear hug. Even the branding around it originally started again with that concept of, okay, how can I epitomize something that I'm willing to give any and everybody, into, okay, how can I spread not only that comfort, that enjoyment of it, but again, that knowledge and insight around it. So from there, again, the research, development, just passing that on and showing people that, hey, there are people out here who are not looking to just get your dollar, just get you with that malicious intent. Now you can feel comfortable not only in what you're doing, but comfortable with who you do reach out to get those things and those resources from. Bearable isn't a cannabis brand. It's actually a lifestyle brand.
Okay. What makes it a lifestyle brand?
It's a lifestyle brand, simply going back to that comfort. From the apparel that we have, it's to the different products that we serve, to even having that comfort around the branding of it. So with each product that I have a bear that's associated to it. Eventually, I actually want to tie that to a nonprofit where I have a plush animal, a plush bear, that for adults and people who are of age, over the age of 21, if they do purchase this product, you do receive a free gift. But then also, I am able to give some of those donations to that organization that personally I would like to deal with, one that's working with either those single mothers, something that I can relate to, or children, something that, again, especially with the legalities and the ethics around it, they shouldn't be partaking in that aspect or the cannabis aspect, but their betterment in terms of their mental stability, their mental health, and the things that are going on with them is something that is truly important. So if I could help fund that research there and get more out there, then shoot, that'd be great. So that's just one of the, again, goals of the business, is to show that lifestyle of how you can find that comfort in different aspects of your life, whether it's ingesting something, wearing something, or just going through a new experience. It's a lifestyle.
Okay. What are the first products you're rolling out currently?
Currently, we have Cocoa Blossom. So that's infused hot chocolate that basically all you do is take some water or hot milk. You mix this flower petal treat into it, and now you have infused drink. Mm-hmm. Of course, with the different products, we do have different caricatures. So all of that it's a gift. So when you buy into different products, like this is Kush himself, this is Papa Bear Kush.
You could give it the extendo on the camera.
Like, it's definitely something that just seeing it just brings smiles to certain people's faces. So once you tap in, get something like this, mm-hmm. then you are able to receive some of our other products. Mm-hmm. Again, this is Sweet Tink. Mm-hmm. Sweet Tink is a non-alcohol based tincture, mm-hmm. that all you need is a little bit and it'll give you that same feeling. Matter of fact, I'm gonna actually show that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just a little dab of do you.
Okay.
A few drops, and now so you got a good little drink there. Mm-hmm. You don't gotta worry about smoking, you don't gotta worry about the smell.
What about shaking or stirred?
Can shake it for a more homogeneous mix, mm-hmm. But with it being water and sugar based and water soluble, just a little mix get you good to go. Mm-hmm. Just a little swirl around, and you're good to go. But of course, different things, and that can be used for different purposes, from putting it into a shaker, making a full cocktail, to it can even be used as a simple syrup on cakes and desserts. So many different ways you can utilize that. To even did funnel cakes. Oh man, that was a fun event.
Funnel cakes.
You know, we had a funnel cake, so you could get a funnel cake with some infused ice cream. The funnel cake was non-infused. It's simply delicious funnel cake, and with that you had the opportunity to get free ice cream that was infused, and of course we do catering and dinners of that nature. So I have an event coming up now that is going to have we're going to do fried chicken Friday. We're going to have fried chicken with an infused mumbo sauce. and also infused mac and cheese. So something that now you can have your treats, good to eat, but then it's also now something that's incorporated, something different, something you're not used to, and you can still get those benefits. For those types of things though, it's not something that you can just, hey, can I tap into those products and I get some of that. Again, with that experience, we would come to the different events, partake in that experience, see the different people, see the different vendors, actually dive into the lifestyle of Bearable. And then with there, you have the opportunity to experience and get things to take home. Again, it's a lifestyle. You're not just here to tap in. Once you find and learn about that Bearable lifestyle, you'll want to be cozy in it for the rest of your days.
Was there a certain reason you wanted to base your business off of lifestyle and the change of?
Absolutely, because that big connection goes back to, again, the product of cannabis itself. Just dealing with that, it's a whole different lifestyle. One thing that I had to deal with before the legalities change is, again, that's a lifestyle that people should not and cannot know about. As soon as they are hip to it, as soon as they're aware of it, it's all bad. You were demonized. You were considered an outcast. If you were the one that smoked, again, they labeled it as the product that could kill you. So with that lifestyle around the product ever changing, I figured, well, why not keep up with the times?
And that shows you the power of marketing.
Absolutely. And it's almost unfathomable to think that a product that has not only created lifestyles and created a whole image and perspective in society wouldn't continue to develop and grow into something that's, again, new, even though it's the same thing that my parents may have dove into, or their parents may have dove into. It's still the same product, still cannabis. Big difference. There's just more research behind it, there's more knowledge behind it. The lifestyle around it has changed, the stigma around it has changed. So why not utilize that for its beneficial purposes, and educate so that people are not misusing. Simple concept in my mind, so why not spread that to others?
Would it be easy to misuse the products that you make?
Is it easy to misuse the products that I make? Well, that's subjective, honestly. I do try to provide that insight, so even if you get a vial of oil, it's going to come with a little card that gives you some knowledge behind it, gives you that suggestion, recommended dosage. One of the biggest things that I put with all of my products is I ask you to, if you haven't had this before, if this is something that's new to you, try a small amount. Please try a small sample. See how that feels. See how that makes you feel.
So you have a true disclaimer.
Exactly. Don't just dive into it head first. That's something that I'll tell people every time. Even with it tasting good, that's something that it's all about balance. Like, you don't want to just overdo and overwhelm yourself. This is a new experience for some, and even those who have been through similar experiences. You never know how it's going to affect you. So again, it's always easier to add more than it is to take away, put it that way. So try to just pass that, again, knowledge around it. It's one of the reasons I'm even in the business. Excuse me.
So what are you looking to add to the culture?
To the culture, I'm looking to continue that change on the stigma, because again, as a black man in America, this is a product that just a few years ago I would be in jail for a very long time, longer than other crimes that, morally speaking, could be considered worse. But now, as a black male in America, I have the opportunity to even dive into something like this, to even add to that knowledge, research background of it, to add to the experience of it, to add to, again, the lifestyle and culture of having it a part of your lifestyle and culture. It's something that, again, that big stigma of this is bad, you shouldn't have this. Well, anything is bad if you have too much of it. So what are we talking about with that? Let's actually get down to the nitty gritty of it and explain, understand, what is this? If you have that curiosity, you have that clear mindset to seek that curiosity, well, here's a safe space and haven to get it.
Okay. So, you're introducing a concept that we're seeing a lot of people explore, and there's a good chance there could be a TV show around what you're doing. How do you feel about the inaccessibility of black people to this space?
Honestly, I truly feel it's just unfair. And I know life isn't supposed to be fair. I know that. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm a big advocate for that change for the better in terms of that knowledge and understanding. So if having a better knowledge and understanding of this product, giving that insight, passing that information on how to properly use and dive into this product, if that can help future generations not have to worry about the stigma of, oh yeah, if you have marijuana, if you have cannabis with you, they need to arrest you, need to throw you on cars, need to make us a stereotype you, single you out. If I can help avoid those things happening in the future or going forward in any form or fashion, make it easier for the next black man, I'm all for it, man. Because we have too many challenges in this world that assuming or making a judgment without fully understanding something is going to be more harmful than it is good. So why even go through that process? Let's, again, have that understanding, know what's happening, and know how to make proper choices and decisions, not only as adults, but as individuals who control their own lives, destinies, and what's going on. Have proper methodology to your madness. Don't just be out here all wild. So,
okay.
It's just something that I want to see that continue change in the realm, because it's something that's helped me in many different ways. Again, this is a product that I don't talk about it much, but it even helped me I got my whole college degree. Some of those days that I was stressed and worried about an assignment, I just partook into herbal remedy, and boom, I was like, I'm focused, I'm calm, my anxiety wasn't going on. I was able to get an assignment done, because now I'm not thinking about 50 million other things. That helped me. Shoot. Man, I'm seeing people on the news and somebody man just got arrested, and that's all he had was marijuana, a little bit of marijuana. I know people personally who they have about a gram, $20 worth of cannabis, and they got arrested. They in jail. They got bagged up. They going through some hardships. Like, what is going on for $20? That's crazy to me. All because somebody don't know or understand something. We have to be judged and stigmatized. Nah, no good. One, we're not the only group of people who utilize the product, and two, we're not the only ones who are causing or are affected by the product. It's something that is here. You can't do nothing about that, so why not, again, learn about it. Pass the education, pass the insight. Make sure you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it. And keep it sweet, keep it easy. The more knowledge you have, the better and more comfortable you will feel doing whatever you want to do. And a lot of people, even governments, are just getting some of that knowledge. So again, anything I can add to it, I'm here for it.
All right, tell me about your love of food.
Oh, my love of food, beyond being a fat boy myself, you know. My fat boy tingles when good food comes around, you know. It all truly started in a household growing up with a southern raised mother in the District of Columbia. Sometimes she would have to work very late hours. And it'd be me and my sisters in the house. I'd be hungry. And that's what started truly my ventures of how do I cook that? I was a little kid that, other little kids, they got Saturday morning cartoons. Sometimes I look at Saturday morning cartoons, but more often than not, you call me looking at Food Channel, Food Network. It was one of those things that it was such a passion. I considered going to culinary school to really learn not only the history and the techniques of how to truly cook, but it was another thing to actually learn from experience, to actually have the pleasure to meet various different chefs, learn different techniques, learn why does cooking even work. Learning if you put what is a roux, like, to how do you not burn something, how do you not make a chicken breast dry, like how do you maintain that moisture in that, just learning just different techniques. Something that I just took a passion for, because not only did I want to have it, but I didn't have accessibility to certain things, so shoot, I gotta make it. I gotta learn how to make it.
Yeah.
And truly, with my background with that research and data, that's what I got my degree in, actually, information systems and operations management. I utilized that to learn how to cook anything that I would want to eat.
Yeah.
From that, build a skill from a hobby that I didn't even think about for all my years. I never thought about having a selling thing or selling food or being a chef, to now I get offers to do catering. It went from before I used to have friends, even in college, I was the one that I'm cooking for the entire dinner party. It's 20, 30 people in here. I gotta make a whole spread for all these folks, make multiple course meals at times. It's something that, again, I was doing for free. So why not turn that passion into that business? And again, incorporating the two passions that I do have, that cooking and blending different flavors, going through different experiences with the food, like that's invigorating with me. That excites me. Just to try something new, try something different, trying to recreate things. Like, one of the challenges that I gave to myself just as a hobby is, hey, I can't smoke, I don't smoke all the time. How can I get this into this food that I like? I really like this food. It could be a bowl of ramen. I know how to make a bowl of ramen, and not just your pack of noodles that you heat up. Actually, an actual bowl of ramen. You're making your tonkatsu, your pork belly. You're getting all your veggies, getting them to that right spot, getting the seasonings right, getting the flavors right. And now I'm adding a flavor that is foreign to this product. Now I'm adding cannabis to it. How can I maintain the integrity of the product? How can I maintain the flavors that are there and present, or add to them, instead of overwhelming and taking away from? That's just something, and again, one of the many things that I'm willing to do and I like to do for free. So why not show and tell other people about it, and again, allow them to have that experience that I've gone through. Give them that perspective of, again, you can have these things, it is good. Have things not only in moderation, but enjoy yourself while you're having it. It's just a passion to cook. You don't gotta necessarily. I'm the one that I don't have to be voluntold to do it. Yeah, it's again, growing up, one of the things, cookouts, to just, again, being the one in the kitchen. Sometimes my mother, oftentimes my mother, paying attention.
Yeah.
That's how I've learned from many different cooks from many different areas. Pay attention, ask the questions. It's a lot of people who are willing to help and willing to guide you and willing to teach you and get you to those next levels. All you gotta do is speak up, ask, pay attention, observe, get the data, get the information, try something new. Try a flavor, know a flavor, see how it meshes together. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Like, I wasn't always able to cook as good as I have a scar on my foot, for example. The first time I ever tried to fry something, I dropped it into the grease too fast, too rapidly. I didn't know that this wasn't a thing. I didn't know that wasn't okay. Grease splattered on my foot. Now I have a scar on my foot. Like, you're gonna go through those hardships. Yeah. I still have scars on my hand from learning how to properly use a knife. That's something that, again, you can go through the formal culinary school and training where they help guide you and teach you to those, or you can go through that experience. It's just like a job in my mind. You can go get a college degree, or you can go through experience. Both can put you in those same points. One is faster than the other, but both can pay off at the end of the day, and lead you to a point that you can excel. In all honesty, with me continuously growing, culinary school is still not out of the option and out of the question. But again, just turning one of those passions and spreading it out to the world as a lifestyle.
Okay. In terms of your business, right now it's young, but your culinary education is deep. What do you see for the business of Bearable and the rooms that you would like for the product of putting food together with hemp and the benefits that it could bring to the community and those outside of your initial community?
Honestly, I want to utilize it as a glue that's sticking that community together, giving that space and opportunity not only to have a haven to talk, network, speak to somebody that you probably never knew you related to this person, but now y'all are both enjoying this meal, or you're both enjoying this cup of hot chocolate, and now y'all are in the same space.
Yeah.
Learn about each other. It's something that some people don't even put two and two together. I've been in so many circles where I've had conversations, I've indulged, and it all started with either food, hemp, or cannabis. Like, that's the start of the conversation that broke the ice. It made me feel more comfortable to talk to these people, and giving that space. Like, truly, is something that my goal of the business is giving that space to grow that opportunity to network, speak to other people, learn about other people, learn about, again, people you never knew even indulged in the product. You would never guess it. You may see one of these people at one of my events, and now you're having a conversation that has nothing to do with cannabis or food, but it is that doorway and gateway to start that open communication, open dialogue around any topic. Again, adds to that comfortability of just the product. Kind of break those stigmas of, I don't want to talk to these people. They're over there smoking. Well, might want to. Might be a lot of information and knowledge.
Why miss out on an opportunity?
Exactly. Like, why pass it? Why do yourself that injustice? That doesn't make sense to me. But then also, people don't always indulge in the same things. That's why, particularly for my events, most of the events I do have and I do host, there isn't any flower smoking allowed inside of the venue.
Clean air and clean space.
Exactly. We have other ways that you can ingest these things if you choose to partake in those. Other ways that you can still get that experience without ingesting anything.
Yeah.
One of the products that I do have with the cocoa blossom, that's actually Mexican hot chocolate. Some people have never seen Mexican hot chocolate made. They don't even know the difference between Mexican hot chocolate and non-Mexican hot chocolate, just American hot chocolate or Italian hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Learning those or showing those differences, even the process of how it's made, you may go through the experience. Wow, I've never seen that before. Somebody right next to you from a whole different world, a whole different culture, a whole different experience is in the same room with you. Wow, I've never seen that before either. Y'all are now talking about it.
Yeah.
Again, that's opening those doorways. And I also see in the city that I was born in and raised in,
Chocolate City.
You love it. Chocolate City, we love it out here. It's starting to get to be more of a blend. It's not so chocolate or as chocolate as it was back in the day. And it's one of those things that you can either be totally against it or see that in some aspects that is that growth of change that you not only should be adapt to,
this could benefit us,
but it could be a benefit for you. So one of the biggest things that I know I even myself had the fear of is a fear of gentrification.
Okay.
And all honesty, in some ways, I still don't like that the area that I was born and raised in has changed in such a large way, and it's been taken over by individuals who don't have that same love, care, respect for the city. I do see that. Well, from the just basic definition of gentrification, that's not limited to people that's not from here.
Yeah.
You can gentrify an area. You can gentrify your own area. Gentrification is not itself bad. It's individuals who may come along with it may be bad. So, all right, cool. Learn more about this. What does that mean? Would I love to see DC redevelopment better? Heck yeah. I'm seeing areas that as a little kid I wasn't able to walk around. And I can go around there freely. And it's mind blowing because it's just like, yo, this used to be a dangerous area. Like,
this block included. Literally, this block included.
You shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So again, with this level of change happening in society and the world, I'm seeing lifestyles are changing. Different aspects and types of people are interacting and commingling together, but there's still that fear and stigma of, hey, you're different. I don't want to be around you. That's what I'm really trying to bring together with Bearables and just the concept of providing that experience. I want you to have that opportunity to, again, meet people, speak, learn something new, whether it's from myself or somebody that you met at the event. It's allowing that, again, that opportunity to continue growth, make things better, see what's happening, to know what's happening, and to understand how can, again, you contribute to the society and the community that you're a part of. So that's what I'm going for, and that's what I love. Even the passing and spreading of the promotion of other black businesses with those events. So doing pop-up style allows me to do that. So again, big on the community aspect of it, and again, that knowledge and insight. I've seen that stigma change, so again, why not add to that ever growth of knowledge and that pool of the insight around cannabis.
Okay, so where can the people find you?
Definitely reach out to me directly on IG at Bearables. That's BEARIBLES at Bearables. You can also email me if you would like, barely Bearables at gmail.com. Barely BEARLY Bearables BEARIBLES.
And what kind of services do you offer?
I do offer not only event planning, but culinary, whether it's infused, non-infused, baking, of course, also part of that culinary realm, full-on cooking, grilling, meal prep, the whole nine. The biggest thing that I've taken a liking to, or we've started putting it out there more, special events. So if you have that baby shower, if you have that birthday event, we can create those treats and experience for the whole room, something for the adults to enjoy and partake in, something for individuals like family members and younger folks, children can partake in as well, and keeping those lines separate and defined. And again, the knowledge around it. So just giving you that good experience no matter what event we're assisting and helping you with.
Is there any help that you need with your business when it comes to what you're building or what you're looking to build?
The biggest help, again, those people who are in those different industries and in those businesses, if you are willing to, again, share your experiences, come to those different events where people are networking and may not know about what you do. If you have that willingness to just come talk, socialize, have a good time, maybe have a drink or a treat in between, something to eat, definitely tap in, let me know. We love to promote other businesses, and let the community know what's truly out here to offer from the people who are a part of the community, and not just these big companies that are taking over everything. We don't want to deal with that. So let's again tap into our community. There's so many great people out here that want to help and utilize each other in that way as a resource. So I want to again make sure that we have the opportunity to continue that.
Okay, bet. Well, I think before we wrap this up, what's one moment that you've been proud of within the business that you've put together in Bearables?
One moment that I've been proud of. That's actually thinking backwards. I know that's a good question. I like that. Actually, I would say one moment that I'm extremely proud of would be not only just the opportunity of how I've stepped into that entrepreneurial light, truly being able to utilize my passions to not only help my family members, from my mother, my sisters, my brothers, to help friends and associates within the community, but to really proud that I was able to create something that giving again others that space and opportunity again to feel confident, to feel safe around something that truly is a very sensitive topic and sensitive thing. Being able to not only help my family out financially with what I have going on, but being able to provide and share that knowledge and insight, bring them to a better understanding that from their teaching and their lessons they may have been taught or mistaught, helping guide not only the community that's directly connected to me, but the extended community around me. That's something that I've been proud to say that I've been able to accomplish and spread. I want to continue that as best as I can. Honestly, one of my ideal goals is I would love to write a nice little book or encyclopedia just around these topics itself. What are different foods? What are different cultural influences? I should book about the cannabis aspect. Well, what's the history? What's the background of it?
What intensifies the experience? Exactly.
Where do these things meet? When did these things meet?
Yeah.
That would be a great knowledge and insight. But again, challenging people. Whew, it is. It is. Just like it has a big reward payout potential, it is a lot of money to put into that. So again, that's what this business is for, to not only continue that research, that growth of knowledge, and that experience, but to document that said such experience, and to leave that experience not only as a lasting impression on the individuals, but again, changing that community around of it's here. People like to eat. People like to enjoy their herbal remedies. Why can't those things exist in the society and the realms that we're currently in, with that proper knowledge and insight around it? Let's keep that party going with it. Why not?
Alright, well, appreciate you pulling up, my guy.
Good mind.
Definitely see you over on Mental Health Monday in the future.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be here.
So we can talk about the benefits, the experiences, the stories. You know, how supplying the community has helped and the difference that you've seen it make in other people's lives.
Gotcha.
So, appreciate my man Ned for pulling up. This has been another episode of If You Build It. See you guys next episode. Peace.